Well, welcome to Monday's live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the round table streaming every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's 9 p.m. GMT and 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be leaving this one up on the channel. And today I am joined by Andre from Midnight's Edge to talk Dungeons and Dragons and He-Man. How you doing, good sir? You all right?
I'm doing excellent. Always doing good
Oof.
when we talk some sword and sorcery.
You, my man, have some robotic connection going on right there. Oof. Can we try that again? How are you doing, good sir?
What, really? Again? Okay, we'll try one more time. I'm doing good, especially when we're talking some sword and sorcery. Then everything's great.
Excellent. Absolutely excellent. Good. Right. So like I said, guys, if you are new here, this is, I've been doing this ever since the new year now. We are here doing live streams every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 9 p.m. GMT, and that's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So set a reminder because YouTube often doesn't send out notifications. But there's been some updates. I love some sword and sorcery, as do you, don't you? Andre.
Indeed. Love me some sword and sorcery.
Good, good. And first and foremost, are you aware of the updates of Dungeons and Dragons and He-Man or not?
I'm aware of the updates on He-Man at the very least, that we got some score. Dungeons and Dragons, not so much.
Okay.
If you'll excuse me for 1 minute, I'm just going to bow out and try to reset my collection and the robotics here.
Absolutely, no worries. You can go.
I'll be right back.
I think what's potentially the most funniest part about that is Andre, as his avatar, used to have like a half man, half robot picture, and now it's not there. Now he's got his little avatar of himself. But if he had that, it would be much more fitting and a little bit more comical, to be perfectly honest. So you should have left it. We could have had that on there today. It would have been very, very funny. But anyway, I hope you're all well, ladies and gents. Hope you are all well. So we'll have to wait for Andre to pop back on. And then we will discuss the news. The main news is, of course, as Andre alluded to, is that there was some score revealed for He-Man, the Masters of the Universe Revelations, courtesy of Netflix and Kevin Smith. And it was pretty damn good. They've confirmed the composer. It's Bear McCreary, who's awesome. Like, he's really, really good. I'm sure you hear that name and most people go, yes, like I'm down for that. Yes, that's super, super cool. So, yeah, when Andre gets back, we will play it and, well, we'll talk, really. So, Ellie Moses is here. Nice to have you on. And nice to have everyone else on. Thank you for joining me, ladies and gents. It's not just me. If you are joining now, we do have Andre. He will be coming back on shortly, so don't worry about that. But yeah, just waiting for people. If you can, ladies and gents, got 135 people here. Hit that like button. Would really appreciate that. So please do hit that like button. Helps the channel out quite a lot. Would appreciate it. But anyway, Ellie, I've just sent you an invite as well, so you can jump on, and we can get this kind of round table underway. Now, if you're new here and you want your question answered immediately, you can do actually exactly what Roger Haynes has done, although he's done a super sticker. You can do a super chat, and I'll get to your question more immediately. So yeah, it's also a really good way of supporting the channel. But I'm oh, here we go. Andre's back now. How's it going, good sir?
I think it's going much better now, because I saw that I had 60 times as strong as a connection as I had 1 minute ago. So much better.
Oh, okay. Good. Excellent stuff. I said it was quite comical that you used to have a half man, half robot picture, but you don't anymore. It would have been much more fitting if you had that, to be fair.
Yeah, indeed. Well, I still have it on Twitter, I think.
Ah, yes, true. Yeah, true. Thank you, Roger Haynes, for the super sticker. Really, really do appreciate that. So first and foremost, Andre, Bear McCreary, composer of Masters of the Universe Revelations. What do you think? Good choice, bad choice?
Fantastic. I have to say, again, it continues the tradition of great choices with the people to work on. Like you and I, we have previously gone through the voice cast, which is beyond amazing. And Bear McCreary, fantastic. Like, I don't think you could get a better composer. The only one that could even possibly top that would be the Icelandic composer from The Mandalorian. But I think that Bear McCreary, I mean, can you do better than him for something like He-Man? I don't think you can.
No, I think they've done very, very well here. And like, we're going to cover the music in a little bit in the video that they sent. Like, we'll play it in a second. Hopefully it doesn't get copyright claimed, but we'll play it in a second. It was a Twitter video, so it shouldn't get copyright claimed, but as of all things, you just never know. I'm playing it at great risk shortly, but you hear the name Bear McCreary, and if you're familiar with his work, you go, yeah, goddamn, like that's a good choice. Like, that's a solid choice. And then you hear the work and you go, goddamn, that was a great choice. It was a really good choice.
Not only is a greater choice, this would be like, how do you top this? Save them going back to the original Suki Levy score. That's like the only thing. Seriously, it doesn't get any better.
No. It's very, very good. So this all sort of came out, like I said, in a video. Have you watched the video, haven't you, or not?
Yes, I saw the video. I saw the video on Twitter of Kevin Smith, him talking about the score and supposedly reacting to it for the very first time with the audience.
Yeah,
so he could see more. He could see like Cringer and Adam, and this way here we not only the music, we also got like our first glimpse of the voice actor portraying Adam and He-Man.
Yes, well, so we're going to play that now for everyone who is watching. If we disappear, that's because it's been copyright claimed, but I'm hoping it's not going to.
I think we'll be fine. It's going to take like some time to institute that. I mean, this is just hours old, and it's like a little bit blurry and stuff like that. I don't think that the copyright bots are going to have time to act upon this yet.
Well, hopefully not, but we're going to play the video now. For everyone in the chat, as well as me and you, to kind of react to and sort of talk to with it fresh. So we're going to play it now, and we'll sort of get involved in it, I guess.
Hey kids, it's me, Kevin Smith, and I got an announcement for you. I've been working for Mattel and Netflix making this Masters of the Universe Revelation series that's going to debut on the streamer. I am happy, pleased, proud, ecstatic, really, to announce our composer. We scored a composer, and he's scoring for us, ladies and gentlemen. And that composer is none other than Metal Maestro himself, the great Bear McCreary, ladies and gentlemen. That's right, the man who gave us the score to The Walking Dead, Battlestar Galactica, remember those drums? Boom, 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 boom. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Outlander. He's doing the score for Masters of the Universe Revelation. He's working on it right now, and he just sent me the first cue, his first pass, the very first cue of our show, which is the transformation sequence. When Prince Adam holds the power sword aloft and says the magic words and fabulous powers are revealed to him, and he becomes He-Man. So I'm going to listen to it. Let's listen to it together, man, at the same time. What you're going to hear right at the top of it before Bear's music kicks in is perhaps one of the most famous phrases in pop culture history, spoken by our Prince Adam / He-Man himself, the great Christopher Wood. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Bear goes into the woods. Let's see what he comes out with. Let's check this out, man.
By the power of Grayskull.
Oh, come on.
I have the power!
Oh, Bear. Bear, man. Look at it. Well, you can't see it, but listen to it. It is perfect. Perfect. transformation sequence right here. This is where Cringer, the sword is turned on Cringer, and here he comes, Battle Cat. Oh! Ah! Ladies and gentlemen, that's a first pass by a genius. I can't wait. By the power of Grayskull, man.
Anyway, what do you think?
Fantastic.
I thought we'd talk about it, like have it right there, fresh, ready to go.
Yeah, indeed. No, let's begin with a voice before we get into the music.
Yeah, no.
That's the first thing that we hear.
Yeah.
It's first Prince Adam saying the iconic line, "By the power of Grayskull," which incidentally is the first line of English I ever learned. Fun fact.
Not bad. I like it. I thought I like the voice. Like I actually think it works really well. I don't have any complaints, to be honest. Like it's not out of character. There's nothing jarring about it in terms of its sound. Like obviously we're only getting a part of the picture here. Literally, we're just getting the sound, so it may be different when we have the animation alongside it. I can't imagine they're going to do anything drastic with the animation that will make the sound not fit, though. So I liked it. I thought it was great.
Yeah, but I think that you will have like a very different impression when you get the imagery next to it. Because here's like the thing: if you go to The Simpsons or really anything animated, and you close your eyes, or if it's something that you've never even seen before, and you just listen to the voices, for the most part, no matter how good it is when you see it in context, it sounds kind of crap when you hear it in isolation. And as for me, I wasn't fully convinced by this Adam at the least, but at the same time, I'm not gonna criticize or say anything. But exactly, because the original I thought was fantastic. No, not as Adam, but as He-Man, I thought like the voice was fantastic in the original. But again, here's like the thing that we are missing so much of the picture that and we also got like really blurred, jarred, and stuff like that. I think it's going to be great in the finished version, but like He-Man is a difficult voice to do. And to me, he sounded like more like Cam Clark, who did the voice in the 2002 series than the original He-Man, which is not necessarily a bad thing. So I'm not 100% sold on the voice, but I think it's going to be fine.
Yeah, well, I think like in the grand scheme of things,
part of the voice.
Yeah, well, I think in the grand scheme of things, dude, like there's not, if you close your eyes and listen to the original, there is a lot that could be bad about that unless you see it. And even then, the original is quite cheesy as well. Like it's very tongue in cheek. And I quite like. So I mean, obviously we still have yet to see it. I'm confident it will be good, but I quite like the theatrics of it. I like the sort of theatrical take. Like it's good fun.
Yes.
And then we get to the music. Great. Fantastic. I really like the music. Like I genuinely really like the music.
Yeah. Like imagine, and this is music that again we got like jarbled through Twitter, and this is like temp thing. He said that this is like a first pass. So it's before we're gonna have all of the fiery effects and probably Cringer in there and everything. And just here, it still sounded good with the drums and the beats and everything. I think it's gonna be epic when we see it completed. Yeah,
the first pass, great, but I'd expect no less from Bear. Like he is very, very good at what he does, and that was great. It was really, really, really good. Good music, great stuff. I have to touch on Smith's performance, and it is a performance. Like he puts his hand up to his face as if he's going to cry and stuff like that. It was very performative. It didn't look like he was actually going to cry. The reaction seemed very, very staged to me. And that's the only thing that actually put me off personally. Like his reaction to it was off-putting. It seemed very disingenuous. But I have to, everything else I really liked, but I have to say that because it's just the truth.
Yeah, no, I agree completely. I think that Kevin Smith, he has overdone his enthusiasm a few too many times. And again, he says that, oh, this is the very first. Yeah, I don't believe that. I don't believe that this was the very, very first time when he tweeted that out. I don't believe that for a second. I do believe that his reaction was genuine enthusiasm, but at the same time, I do think that it was like partially staged, just like when he went on set of Rise of Skywalker and he cried because it was so beautiful. And again, he has shown too much enthusiasm too many times. It's a bit like the boy who cried wolf. It's like, mate, if someone pays you to go onto the set of the worst stinker of all time, you're still going to cry and say it was the best thing ever. And the problem with that is that then we don't know if something really is the best thing ever. So actually, then I'd rather he put himself a little bit more out of it and let the work speak for itself.
Yes. Yeah. I'm not interested. I'm watching it because I'm interested in He-Man. I'm not watching it because I'm interested in Kevin Smith. Kevin Smith can leave the picture. Like, you're not selling it. He-Man sells it. Like, and I think
so, as long as he does a really, really good job as showrunner, that's the important thing. So I like my showrunners best when honestly I don't know who they are, and it doesn't matter because they do such a great job. Like, for instance, my prime example is Dexter. I can't tell you who was the showrunner for the first 4 seasons of that series because he did freaking amazing, and it was unbelievable. I can tell you who took over because they dropped the ball completely, and that's why I know.
That makes sense. It does make sense. But it does add a lot of excitement. It's still very vague on the release date. Netflix is super odd about these things because they just drop things.
Yeah,
like just drop them at the hat. So, how far do you think we are now away from the trailer? Because I would imagine,
I think
it's dropping this year, so a trailer can't be that far away, dude.
Here's like the thing. He says that this is the first time that he got this score, but if it is, we're still a long way off from a trailer. If this was the first music cue that they got.
I know, but that's a lie. That's clearly a lie because the show is dropping this year, 2021.
Yeah, so because I was like thinking that if he's honest about this is the first cue, then they're behind schedule. Ain't no way.
They're really behind. There's so much mixing to do there otherwise.
Exactly. Ain't no way on earth that it's coming out this year if he's genuine and says that this was the first music cue. If it is, then I look forward to seeing the series towards the end of 2022.
Yeah.
But if he lied, which I hope he did, if it's still on track for release this year, then I think it's going to be late this year.
Yeah, true. So a bit of feedback in here. The Harlequin saying Miss H legit calling Kevin Smith out on his hammy nonsense. So people in the UK as well as parts of Europe really, really, really hate hamming it up. Like we find it quite offensive. Like we call it out everywhere. And I'm sure it's the same with you, Andre. Like when we see this kind of stuff, because we're quite reserved in the UK and similar in parts of Europe, quite a reserved people. So when we see this,
dead inside in Norway, so like I'm dead inside, and that's why I'm just like when I have like people who are so superly enthusiastic, I'm like, just die a little bit more inside, please.
But again, that is just how it is. When we see this kind of stuff, we go, no. Like we call it out pretty quick, to be honest. And yeah, Kevin Smith was definitely hammy, absolutely. There was a comment saying, in fairness, Kevin Smith is a massive geek. He does not, I think is what you're saying. He does not get involved with properties, or he does get involved with properties he loves, either or. So he may literally just be an excited child. Well, the interesting thing about this is Tom does have a clip of Kevin Smith saying he has no love for He-Man, which is odd, doesn't it?
Yeah, but again, that clip was taken out of context, and actually he was defending He-Man at that time. So what he was saying was there, well, you know what, I don't really care too much about He-Man either, but still, he's an important figure in pop culture. That's what he was saying. And then when he got the gig, that's when he ramped up his fan level to 100, which is fine.
Yeah, okay.
Like he doesn't have to be a super duper fan of the thing. He has to understand it good enough that and respect it.
I get that, but when you've got people thinking the contrary, that's when it causes an issue.
Yeah,
there's people thinking absolutely that he only gets involved with properties he loves, which is not the case.
Yeah, and here comes the problem with his persona. It's like, this super duper excited about absolutely everything, because then the moment that he is like called out for it, like when Tom was able to find that clip of him saying like, I don't care that much about He-Man, and then later when he's working on He-Man, he's like, I'm the biggest fan ever, blah blah blah. Then it really comes across as disingenuous.
Yes,
and that's why I don't like that kind of like super duper overtly enthusiasm. Like, I understand that you're being super enthusiastic, but you know what? At this stage where he's at right now, I'd prefer if he was nervous about dropping the ball, and therefore focused on getting it right, than being like an excited fanboy. You know what? I'm dead inside, and I'm still an excited fanboy. You're reserved, and you're an excited fanboy. Like, we're super excited about this.
Yeah.
And I would, if it was up to me, I think that I would prefer him to have an attitude closer to a mix between what we have, and then be a super professional and make the absolute best thing that he can. Like, for instance, look at Kevin Feige. You never see Kevin Feige go like Kevin Smith. You never see him go like apeshit about how excited he is or anything.
That's a good comparison.
I assure you that on the inside, he feels that joy and everything, but he doesn't show it on the outside. On the outside, it's business as usual. He doesn't need to try to make people excited with his own excitement, because he'll inject that into the work so that we feel the excitement.
Yeah, true. Finbar White for £5. Thank you so much, keeping the lights on here. We also had 2 new members, which I'll get to in a second. Roger Haynes and a brand new one that's just dropped on. So thank you so much. Hey, Mr. H and Andre, hope you're all okay. Could He-Man voice be a bit deeper, or need to be a bit deeper? Give it greater gravitas in the transformation. I'm
of two minds there, because I think that it's like fine for Adam, because Adam is the one that should have a little bit lighter voice, whereas He-Man should be an octave lower, to be like a little bit deeper, a little bit more masculine. And I think that we had that, because this is one thing that didn't really come through so much, because we don't have the visuals, because we heard him say, by the power of Grayskull, long pause as the music builds. And then I have the power came later. And that was an octave deeper than by the power of Grayskull. So I think that we all get our wish, Finbar White. And we'll see how it works. But I like the He-Man voice better than I did the Adam voice.
Yes. Just J Dogman says the hamminess is real. It absolutely is. As we say, be a bit more reserved. John Williams, new channel member. Thank you so much, dude. Really appreciate that. We've got channel memberships have been open for some time. Please do check it out. You do get some rewards. And any member checking it out, I hope you have been enjoying the rewards. Yeah, they're very interesting stuff. I mean, the general sort of consensus and feedback seems to be the same. Like, I don't think there's anyone having a polar opposite opinion here, by the sounds of it, to be fair. Yeah, seems pretty normal. Manny Syke says, if you're outside of the UK and haven't seen them, search YouTube for He-Man Money Supermarket commercial. Have you seen them? They are.
I have. They're fantastic.
They're just something else. They really are unreal. Absolutely unbelievable. Yeah, if you haven't seen them, anyone in the chat, please do go check them out. You will enjoy them. They are interesting. So do you think that we're going to get a rise of sword and sorcery? Like, you know, because I titled this Sword and Sorcery is Back, baby. Just because I get excited about sword and sorcery. But He-Man coming back, just He-Man. We'll touch on the Dungeons and Dragons news in a bit. Do you think we will get a rise of that now? Because I do feel that we're getting, you know, sword and sorcery is coming back, and I couldn't be happier personally.
I hope so, because I love sword and sorcery. So I hope it's coming back. But before I will say that it is coming back, we have to have a few things out first. They have to be successful to show rest of Hollywood how it's done. So if this here comes out and it's successful, then we'll talk, and then we'll see what else is announced. So I'm not gonna declare that Sword and Sorcery is back, but I hope it will be, and I agree with you. I see like more trends to that direction, which is positive. Like, for instance,
Lord of the Rings. That's you know, the TV series on Amazon. That's massive investment. Some more Game of Thrones stuff have sort of been posited around, and the He-Man stuff. You got 2 Dungeons and Dragons things in the works, a movie and a series. I mean, it's quite a lot of stuff when you start, you know, piecing it all together.
Yeah, but then it has to be good, and I don't really consider, like, for instance, you mentioned Lord of the Rings, but from my point of view, that's not really sword and sorcery as much as it is traditional fantasy that happens to be in a more traditional sword and sorcery setting. But He-Man, that's absolutely sword and sorcery. So is Dungeons and Dragons, and so is Conan, that they're working on bringing back, because you had like this triumphant return to Marvel, and I know that this Netflix series has gotten a ton of interest in Hollywood. So there's many people that are into that. Sega is working on a Golden Axe project. Exactly how far they are, that I don't know. A little birdie told me.
Why didn't you tell me, you son of a bitch?
But here's like the thing. But what I don't know is how far along they are. I don't think that they have a script or anything like that. I think that they have an intention. And then there's like, when things get sorted out and we have money and everything, then we'll find someone to do this. So now there's an intention, but there's nothing like that. So, like, for instance, your friend who is doing concept art for it, this is absolutely the time to display that and go to them, because they haven't got a creative team working on it.
Yeah, well,
at least as far as I know.
Yeah, Manny Sykes makes an interesting point. We need to do a Schlan movie, 2000 AD, Schlan. I'd love that. That'd be epic.
I would love for Rebellion to
they're never
give Slain a crack.
They're never going to do it. Like, not for a long time. They need to pull their finger out their ass. They are not doing very well at the moment with their organizational skills. So, yeah, sadly not. But, yeah, interesting. Well, so this puts us at a bit of a crossroads then, because we're sort of, you know, a bit of a rise on some sword and sorcery, looking all right. And then we get this Dungeons and Dragons news. And Dungeons and Dragons news has actually become a thick and fast, to be honest. Now, the TV series is interesting, because this isn't the TV. We're just giving an overview on the TV series, basically. But the TV series has the the people behind John Wick working on it, which is fascinating. But the movie is painting itself as a bit of a young adult thing, but I do know that the creature design is like quite, gross and scary and really gone balls to the wall. So it's a bit of an interesting sort of middle ground there, by the sounds of it. What have you heard about the TV series and movie? What do you think of what you have heard? And then I'll get onto this new news and we'll see if it changes your opinion.
I have actually heard very little about it. I know that it's there. Chris Pine is involved in some capacity, isn't it?
Yes.
I don't know if that was a movie or TV series, but I know that there's some Dungeons and Dragons thing with Chris Pine. Now,
But that
I
was
have
the
to
movie.
say that was the movie. Okay, yeah, because I
Yeah.
have to say up front that that I like the concept of Dungeons and Dragons. I respect it for its importance in bringing about sword and sorcery, but I have never been into role-playing games myself. So the most of my exposure to Dungeons and Dragons actually comes from that 80s animated series, which was quite good. I
Yes.
liked that one. So like I don't know of any characters or anything like that other than the general concept, idea, and setting, which of course I love. So what I don't know is this movie and this TV series, to which extent they will connect, which I hope that they will do. It would be a wasted opportunity if they didn't.
Yeah. All right. Well, firstly, John Davies, thank you so much for becoming a channel member. I hope you enjoy, and thank you so much. Really, really do appreciate it. It helps keep the lights on in the channel, the literal lights on. Helps me do what I do here. So thank you so much. I second your opinion on that. Like, I am not hugely familiar with it. I have explored some of the lore and I find it fascinating, but I've never played it. I am not familiar with it in that regard, outside of a very peripheral sort of experience and the 80s show as well. But I have a lot of respect for it. It is a powerful name in the world of sword and sorcery and fantasy in general. It is a powerful, powerful name. But then also as well, they've made some garbage stuff. Like, they've made some garbage stuff under that banner.
Like the previous movies, for one.
Exactly. Literally, exactly that. So it'll be interesting to see how this comes together. Now, we don't know as yet whether the TV series is connected to the movie. I need to have a look at who is doing what, because the movie is by New Line. It's not. Paramount and E1s. I read another production studio there ahead of the actual other one. So the movie is by Paramount and E1. And I can't remember who's doing the TV series. If anyone's in the chat right now can have a look, please do let me know. And first and foremost, the basic rudimentary sort of news we had of it was, oh, hey, Chris Pine's in it. That was it. It was literally that Chris Pine's in it. Not much. Fine. Can act sometimes, I guess. But that was all we knew. Now, I know people that have worked on it. Primarily in a certain creative department, so I can't say too much, obviously, because they're bound by NDAs, and I don't want to expose them. But I do know, creatively speaking, that they were tackling it more from. They were trying to have it like not so much fun for the whole family, but they were trying to keep it within a certain age bracket, but also still keeping the monsters quite grotesque, which can actually easily be done. You can have monsters be quite terrifying and have them bleed and cut open and still be in a certain age bracket because it's monsters, they're not real. You can get away with quite a lot with that. But this news is interesting. So we've got new casting news. And this, I think, sways it a little bit to being the potential for negativity. Like, Pine, fine, again, like, I'm not saying he's a great draw or is amazing or anything like that. He can be good. But then they've just cast Michelle Rodriguez and Justice Smith.
Justice Smith. I have no idea who this is. So let's do some research. Who Justice Smith is? Is that's not the daughter of Will Smith, is it?
Well, it's a guy for starters.
Okay, then it's not the daughter of Will Smith, unless like son has changed anything.
No, but I do believe I'm fairly certain it is. I'm fairly certain it is his son.
Oh, he has more kids then.
I think I could be wrong. No, wrong. Actually, completely wrong. Justice Smith is Julia Satachi's and Wayne Smith's son.
Okay, yeah, because he looked nothing like Will Smith.
Say that again, sorry?
Yeah, because he looked nothing like Will Smith at all.
No. He was so he was in the Pokemon movie, the live action Pokemon movie, which I actually thought was pretty good in that. I actually enjoyed that film. Thought it was pretty decent. He's not the red flag. It's actually Michelle Rodriguez, because she has a habit of appearing in just trash, like absolute trash. Are you familiar with her?
Oh yeah, of course. I
mean, just Fast and Furious. How many?
Well, I've never seen Fast and Furious. To me, she'll always be one of the highlights of Resident Evil. Like whenever I hear her, that's what my mind goes to, because she was badass in that one.
True.
So yeah, I've always.
But she definitely plays a type, doesn't she? And she's always in a type of movie.
That she does. Of course, she's starting to age now, so we'll see how long she can continue maintaining that type.
Oh yeah, that's true. Yeah. That is true.
Yeah.
So basically, the Hollywood Reporter just reported that Michelle Rodriguez and Justice Smith have joined Chris Pine in Paramount and E1's big budget, because they are trying to take this as a big budget thing. Dungeons and Dragons feature adaptation. Jonathan Goldstein and Francis Daly, the duo behind New Line's sleeper hit Game Night. So comedy.
Now there's your red flag.
Well, that was always a red flag, but comedy directors can do horror really well. So that's why I'm like, we'll see, I guess.
They didn't just direct Game Night. They directed Vacation, the absolutely god-awful sequel to National Lampoon's Vacation movies from the 80s. You know, the ones that were good, like Vacation and European Vacation and Christmas Vacation, and then the piece of crap Vacation from 2015. That's them. These are the guys that are handling this.
Well, the even bigger red flag then is they're the ones who wrote the latest version of the script as well.
Well, let's see what else they have written here.
Which is based on their latest version of the script is actually based on a draft which was handed in by Michael Gilio, who is a screenwriter who hasn't done much. So I don't really know what. I'm confused by that one. That must have been an old one.
Okay, because I'm looking at Jonathan Goldstein's IMDb right now, and he was part of writing. Let's see here. He had part of writing Spider-Man: Homecoming, which again isn't bad in its own. He's also writing the upcoming Mask movie. Mask as in the Mobile Armored Strike Command, you know, like the 80s toys. Yeah. But we don't know how that's going to turn out. But here's the thing. He wrote Vacation, so he has no excuse. He both wrote and directed it. He wrote Horrible Bosses 2. Now, I gave up after Horrible Bosses 1, so I can't talk about that. He wrote like the Raining Meatballs Part 2. He wrote The Incredible Burt Wonderstone that I never bothered seeing. He wrote the first Horrible Bosses, it's one I hated. He wrote one episode of Bones, a bunch of TV stuff, none of it really very good.
Well, there's some
this guy has only written crap.
Well, there's some other interesting revelations here. Well, first and foremost, we've got a super chat here from Love Smite. Do Andre? That's mate. You get this one. You read it out. I don't.
Yeah, okay. That's fantastic. It says, du, André, skal vi ikke heller ta en slik en pizza grandiosa? That's fantastic. I'll tell you what this is. It means, hey, you, Andre, shan't we take one of these pizza grandiosas instead? It's actually from a commercial that was like 10, 15 years ago, or even more in Norway, where you have like this band. There's a really hilarious band. They're called Vaselina Bilopphuggers. That means the Vaseline Car Demolishers. That's the name of the band. And they're not just a band. They're like in movies and commercials and stuff like that. And then it's like this Christmas thing where they're like making this really exquisite, fine dining and everything, talking about like how amazing this is and how posh that is. And then one of them like loses all pretensions and just says, you know, like, screw this, let's have a pizza grandiosa instead. And pizza grandiosa, that's the Norwegian national pizza. It's like Tesco pizza, basically.
Okay, yeah. Well, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, so everyone got a Norwegian commercial history there.
Brilliant. So there's some other revelations, by the way, right? So Hasbro, E1, and Paramount are jointly producing and financing, with E1 distributing in the UK and Canada, and Paramount distributing the rest of the world.
Hasbro, of course, that's the connection, because this guy is also set to direct the Mask movie, as I said. So there's the connection. Then this is how he's gotten it. It's like some Hasbro connection there.
But there's an even bigger connection as well, right? So Jeremy Latcham is a producer via E1. Which is Hasbro's entertainment arm, and then Hasbro's Brian Goldner is producing as well. Now, Jeremy Latcham is an interesting dude. He's been a key producer on Iron Man. Iron Man 2 is Avengers Assemble, Guardians of the Galaxies, Age of Ultron, Spider-Man Homecoming, Bad Times at El Royale. Like, he's done some pretty big stuff as a producer. And not like horrendous stuff either. What do you think?
What were his contributions?
He's executive producer.
Yeah,
on exactly. A lot of those things.
Yeah, that doesn't really mean anything, because as an executive producer, all he would do is like really give his thumbs up or thumbs down. He wouldn't really have any kind of like active creative role in it, other than like give approval or don't give approval. That's kind of like what an executive producer does.
Well, that's
he wouldn't
still
be a producer
creatively, though. In fairness,
yeah, this is true somewhat. It's not like he doesn't come up with ideas, but he has to either approve or disapprove of. So there's that.
Well, Brian Goldner is the one to really look out for, right? So they say just Brian Goldner is also producing, right? Brian Goldner was promoted to Chief Executive Officer of Hasbro in 2008. He was the Chief Operating Officer of Hasbro. He's big in Hasbro, huge in Hasbro.
Oh, then that's why he's the producer then, because he gets that producer credit, same way that the boss man always gets producer credit, or boss woman in the case of Kathleen Kennedy. So that's how he gets that. That doesn't necessarily mean that he's involved. But of course, as the head of Hasbro, it should be his interest to ensure that he has a contract that allows him to green light and give final approval to whatever Paramount wants to do with this.
Well, again, you say that. I think he might be involved somewhat, right? Like, so his history is very interesting, right? So he was president of US Toy Segment. He was president of US Toys from 2001 to 2003. He was senior VP and general manager of US Toys. He was chief operating officer of Tiger Electronics, a subsidiary of Hasbro. He was chief operating officer of Bandai America. He seems like it's a very interesting history. I mean, it's all like it's all economics and sort of running things, but he's been in it long enough to sort of know what people want. I would imagine.
I would hope so.
From a toy perspective, at the very least, which may translate to the movies. I don't know.
Yeah, but then again, it may not. I mean, toy people and movies to have a very, very flimsy history together.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah.
I mean, if you just look at Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, that was toy people did that.
Yeah, true. Well, they were. Yeah, true. Very true. Now they don't say anything about the story on this. They don't know anything about the story. From Dungeons and Dragons, the movie, but I do know that it was supposed to be based on the Eye of Vecna, which I don't really know much about it, but that was what it's supposed to be based on. Anyway, so there's the major news. That is the major news, and that's kind of the basis of the initial sort of conversation that we're having here. But like, what do you think? Good or bad about it all? Good or bad?
Bad. The more I learn about everything we learned right now, I was like, when it was just Chris Pine, I was like, okay, this can now go a million directions. I kind of like Chris Pine. I think that he's very versatile. He can be in many different things.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
But when you have the combination, and same with like the new cast, they alone necessarily don't have to be any red flags. Seeing the writers and directors and what they have done before, like then I kind of like lose all hope, because what I find is that the best indicator for whether or not something is going to be good is to look at what the people involved have done before. And how good was that? Like, for instance, you can look at Avengers Endgame and Avengers Infinity War, and even Captain America Winter Soldier with like the Russo brothers. No one would ever be able to guess exactly what kind of awesomeness they could deliver on film, when really all they had was like that Community College or whatever the name was, that series that they had. But the episodes that they had done there were really, really good. So they showed some really talent for storytelling there. Whereas what I see from these people that are now heading it, I don't see that talent for storytelling. And not only are they writing Mask, which alone I wouldn't be happy about, they're also writing Dungeons and Dragons, and I see nothing at all to indicate that they would be a good fit for that in their past portfolio. But much worse than that, I don't see anything in their past portfolio to indicate that they can actually do anything good. I hope to be proven wrong.
No, you're right. You are right. There's nothing indicative there that will make you go, oh, they're epic. Cool. There's some sort of flavour there. That's sort of transferable. Like, I'll give you that for sure. I will give you that. The only positive, right, is bearing in mind we know that they're not taking a horror approach. But if they were, right, say, for instance, I'm wrong and they do take a more horror approach, right? But I'm telling you that they don't, from my sources, that they're not going to do that. But let's say I'm wrong. The main positive would be, well, they can write comedy, and comedy can transfer to horror quite easily, like really, really easily, actually, and normally quite successfully. But we know that they're not doing that. But let's say I'm wrong, and let's say they do. That's a positive, maybe. That's the only positive, anyway.
I see your positive, and I raise you this negative.
Oh, no, it's a potential. Based on the fact that I know that it's not going to happen anyway, because
the fact that they come from a background of comedy, to me, is another major red flag. Because if you look at the previous Dungeons and Dragons movie that was so absolutely god awful, what kind of movie was it? It was a comedy. wasn't it?
Yeah, true.
What they need to do after that horrendous piece of crap movie that is mostly forgotten anyway, they need to look at that and decide, okay, we're definitely not going to do this. And this was like a stupid Wayans movie. It had comedy in a genre where, of course, you can like have some level of comedy, but it's not the comedy first and foremost. To me, it looks like they've looked at that movie and said, okay, we're going to remake this. How do we do this for a new generation? And that has me worried, because they needed to find someone that doesn't do comedy. They don't have to do horror either, but they have to do compelling drama. They have to be able to do compelling adventure. That they can be lighthearted, but they can't be someone who does comedy, because that's one thing we have proof for, and that is that comedy and Dungeons and Dragons, the one time those two genres mixed before, was an absolute disaster. And that they're going to try one more time, the one thing that was an absolute disaster before, is not very promising from my point of view at all.
Yeah, I'll give you that. I will give you that. But hey, look, I'm still going to be positive about the general direction of Sword and Sorcery, I think. Hopefully. I can't wait for more Sword and Sorcery stuff. But, yeah, interesting. Now, I have one more bit of news to sort of cover, and then, just general sort of chit-chatty from the chat here. I have actually got a video of this going out tomorrow, but I thought I'd talk about it with you because I wanted your opinion, because it was so insane. I couldn't believe I was reading it, and I want I want people's live feedback as well. Okay, and I do mean this is literally insane. I'm no word of a lie. I am genuinely baffled, right? So the new Blade film has a writer. It's found a writer, right? Not the main news, not the main baffling part. The writer's not particularly good, I don't think. It's the one who wrote The Watchmen for HBO. So take from that what you will, if that's indicative of the quality, anyway. But what I found so fascinating about this is the Hollywood Reporter wrote this article, and they literally admit to illegal hiring practices.
What, like no whites allowed? Or
yes,
yeah,
yes, literally. So the studio has spent the last 6 months meeting with writers in what was described as a meticulous search, with our lead directly involved. Only black writers, I'm quoting it.
Yeah.
Only black writers were seriously considered, a reflection of Marvel's focus on diversity. It's not very diverse, only focusing on one ethnicity.
No, but you have to remember that from these people that preach diversity does not mean what you think it means to them. To them, diversity only means non-white. That's the only thing diversity means.
Exactly. So, but this gets even funnier, right? So they say a reflection of Marvel's focus on diversity and making representation a key factor, especially when tackling non-white characters. So why does Shang-Chi have a bunch of white dudes writing it then and not a bunch of Asian dudes?
Well, they're trying to do better. But again, Asians, certainly that particular subset of Asians are so successful that they have been made honorary white, and they no longer count because they are they are right up there with the whites in the reversed victim hierarchy on which they base the world and give people their value based on the level of perceived victimhood of the group they belong to. I wish I was joking, but this is actually the ideology that is making the rounds. And yeah, you can say that, oh, this is illegal. Yeah, it's illegal for right now, but for how long? Like, for instance, there's a new chairman, and I use that term deliberately, in the White House right now, and he's signed more executive orders than anyone else in history. And many of those orders are actually promoting this very thing that you're seeing right here. There's not going to be any blowback from this whatsoever. None at all. On the contrary. Any kind of laws preventing it shouldn't disappear.
just so everyone's on the same page, like I'm not bullshitting you. It is literally down there at the bottom. The studio has spent the last 6 months, blah blah blah. Like, it's all there. I just want to be completely transparent. And like I said, I've got a video about this dropping tomorrow. I can only release so many videos in one day, and I've got a few others coming out as well, so I had to prioritize it. But I thought I would talk about it live because I was just so. I just don't get it. I don't understand. I just genuinely don't get it. And I know, like, you know, I have people, you know, all colors of the bloody rainbow watching me. And I like to get everyone's reaction, just to see what people think. And, you know, I never want to talk for people, but I look at this and I go, God damn, like, you know, I would feel offended, you know, if someone told me, well, only a white person can write a white character, I'd be like, well, that's clearly not true. Like, that's nonsense. And the people that the funny thing about this is that the original creators of Blade, the comic character, they weren't exactly black, were they? Not from what my knowledge, anyway. So if that's the case, and they created the character in the first place, why do you need a black person to write the movie?
Well, because this is a different era.
Ah, I see. Right. So, but then it's not going to be the same Blade, then, is it?
No, but it's going to be a better and fixed Blade because now black people will be writing him.
Ah, I see.
That's from their point of view. But no, like, I wish I could be shocked and horrified, but honestly, this is par for the course, and it's going to get a million times worse. Like, within a year, you're going to have official job advertisements in the US where it's going to say white people need not apply.
I think, well, you almost do, don't you, nowadays?
No, you almost do. It's only a time before you actually, physically, literally do.
Well, but the funny thing is, in the UK, there's been a lot of pushback on this. There's been a lot of pushback on these things. There's even been people that have gone and sued companies because they were the best person for the job. It's not pertaining necessarily to race, although there has been some instances of that, but pertaining to ages and the fact that they were white and a guy. So in the UK, a middle-aged man sued the company for malpractice, you know, hiring practices, because he was denied the job despite being the best candidate because he wouldn't fit in with his younger millennial female potential colleagues. And he was like, well, what the fuck is that about? Like, I'm literally the best person for the job. So he ended up suing them and winning, obviously.
Yeah. But actually, you couldn't do that in LA now. Because I'm not a legal expert, but I do believe that in LA, where this would be, the Democrats have a supermajority, and last year they repealed the ban against discriminating or segregating based on race. So segregation and like that kind of stuff is. They lifted it.
Man.
So segregation is back.
So inclusive, allowing for segregation again.
No, from their point of view, that it is to be inclusive, segregate so that people can all feel safe by not blending too much together.
Oh, baffling. Yeah. Absolutely baffling. What a sad world we live in.
But the reason is to keep white people out.
Yeah. Well, I remember when the height of the BLM stuff happened this year in the summer. There were literally a bunch of white hipsters going, no, you can't go in there. That's only blacks allowed. Like, what? What are you on about? Absolutely disgraceful.
Yeah, and they made that legal. That is now completely legal because it's no longer illegal to discriminate based on color, ethnicity, or anything like that in LA. How amazing is that? 2000 AD was completely right. The world of Judge Dredd is what we're heading to.
Yeah. Speaking of which, I watched Dredd again the other day. I watch it periodically. That film is amazing. You have got you got three, in fact, very strong females in that film, right? You've got the chief judge, black female, right? They didn't sing it. That was released in 2012, right? Yep. Black female, head of the Justice Department, right? The one that's bossing Judge Dredd around, right? People overlook this stuff because they don't make a big song and dance about it. It's just
history started in 2016.
Yes, you are right. Honestly, I forgot. But so that again, black female Chief Justice. You've then got the Marmar clan run by Madeline Madrigal, Marmar, powerful drug lord, overlord woman, and then you've got Rookie Anderson, the most powerful psychic they've ever come across. 3 in one film, and it's still the most toxically masculine film I've ever seen in my life.
And it's so good. Seriously, I will argue that Dredd is the best comic book movie of all time.
Yes. No, I would agree with that. And I would also, I see that and I raise you. It is the best use of slow motion technology in any film ever to date, period.
I see your use of slow motion, and I raise you the best use of 3D in any movie to date.
I'm all in. I agree. Yeah, absolutely. That is the best comic book film of all time so far. It's so good. Absolutely so good.
It's amazing. I am so proud that I have a signed poster by Carl Urban and Lena Headey of it. It's one of my prized possessions. Yeah.
Jealous. I really do love that film. But like I say, 2012, incredibly diverse, incredibly like strong females out the wazoo, literally.
At the same time, Dredd is allowed to be a man.
Yes. Yeah, he was super macho man. He was allowed to be Dredd, like, choke on it, Dredd. No, chocks the guy's fucking throat in, he dies. Just unbelievable. Hot shot. What did you say? I said hot shot. Love it. So good.
And also like the drum beat. Best drum beat in any movie ever, like that intro music the chase scene. Yeah. Oh my God, and also the loudest movie with all the gunfire, the bass, and also one of the best movie scores of all. Like, seriously, it's one of the best movies ever.
Yeah, no, yeah, I completely agree with you. This from a technical aspect, there's very little. There is. Unless you really hate the character, there's very little that you can, or you hate that style of movie. I guess I don't know. Like it's very difficult to pass any major critique on it. It's a fantastic film from so many levels, so many levels. Even to the perspective, this has just become a Dredd review live stream now. But even to the perspective, even from the perspective when they enter the slow motion and how it becomes so vibrant and euphoric. It completely changes. The color palette completely changes. It goes completely different, miles different. They completely recolored it, and it staggering. Just the sort of juxtaposition between the two. It's beautiful, really beautiful. In fact, it's great, really good.
And they were even able to in used in conjunction with those colors, were really shitty pop songs. Past and current, that were better than they had ever been. Like I think it was like in that like slow-mo thing. I think it was like a Justin Bieber song or something that was slowed down 800 times.
No,
really? It was like, I don't recall if it was Justin Bieber, but it was like a really cheesy piece of crap pop song, and they had slowed it down 800 times or something ridiculous, some such. And that was like the background music when you had the slow-mo sequences.
Wow. The marshmallow for £25, keeping the lights on. Thank you so much, man. Okay, I've told my mates who are white the previous year that companies are creating hiring practices that will make it impossible for them to find work. His reply was, well, if they are more qualified than him, then he's fine.
Well, good for him.
Disaster there.
But you know what? He walks into disaster willingly, and he accepts what's happening around him. So good for him. I hope that he will find a job where he is the best candidate, and he'll get the job that he wants anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, good for him.
The most qualified person should always get the job, and the most experienced and qualified. Qualifications isn't necessarily paper. Qualifications also come in the form of experience. So if he's referring to them, the most qualified person, great, no worries. Yeah, he is right, but I still think you should be given the fair shot. That's my point. How is anyone going to know that they're the most qualified if you're not given a fair shot? That's the problem, I think. And also we have Love Smite. The 90s Dredd movie was awful, but goddamn, the score by Alan Silvestri was amazing. Choir, orchestra, and everything. I'll tell you what, I don't hate 90s Dredd. It's a guilty pleasure, but I don't hate it. Guilty pleasure.
I like it fine. I mean,
you're
visually...
never going to get...
No, sorry, carry on.
I was just going to say, you are never going to get a better Mean Machine Angel.
Or
ever.
ABC Warrior.
Yes. So good. Amazing. And even the cars were great. Like, the vehicle work was amazing on that film. And the wasteland, the gateway to the wasteland was so good. Cursed Earth. It was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. It's not as good as Dredd. That Dredd is a 100% better, 100 times better movie. But I still don't think it's awful. Like, I actually like it. I like it.
Yeah, no, I like it too. It has the problem that it's a movie that was made in the 90s, where the filmmakers felt that any movie adaptation of a comic has to be like the definitive version of the comic. So it's like a best of highlight reel of like the most storylines. They just Frankenstein together a ton of different storylines, and they kind of like ruin every single one of them. You can't let any one story breathe. So that was like a big thing. And also, since the movie starred Sylvester Stallone, the whole thing was restructured from top down to be a Stallone story, where basically you because if you notice that the story is written for Stallone, you can tell by the way that he's a victim. He's the victim of a system who's been lied to his whole life and everything, and that's kind of like the Stallone trope. You have it with Rocky, you have it with Rambo, you have it with basically every other character that he's ever played, because that's the Stallone trope, that he's a downtrodden loser, and even if he's the oppressor beating down everyone, he's still ultimately the victim. And the whole movie was framed that way to fit his stage persona, and that really didn't help the movie. Also, in terms of the score, here's a fun fact. There was a trailer theme made by Jerry Goldsmith, which was meant to be in the movie, but for some shenanigans reasons that never happened. So the score for Judge Dredd that Jerry Goldsmith wrote never ended up in the movie. And that was better than the Alan Silvestri theme. Much better. You can find this theme in trailers for other movies.
Oh, really?
Ironically, in trailers where the score was completely and utterly unfitting. The best example is in the 1996 movie The Phantom, starring Billy Zane. You know, that super joyous, funny, happy-go-lucky movie. If you watch the first original trailer for that, it's on YouTube, so go find it. You will find that this super cheerful movie is advertised with this really dark, dreary, authoritarian theme. That was the original theme for Judge Dredd. And I do believe one of the reasons why it was rejected was that it was too dark, too authoritarian, and so they had Mark Silvestri come in and do a slightly lighter version of it.
So Scott R for £2 says Master of the Universe 1987 is my guilty pleasure. Oof, that is definitely. I'm not going to judge. I'm not judging. But then, interestingly, we had. Where is it? Because here we go. Manny Sykes says, did someone say Rogue Trooper movie? I wish. It's actually being made by Duncan Jones, though. which
Is it happening though?
But it was last time, yeah. Like he's been working on it.
Okay, cool.
Now,
how about Strontium Dog?
I'd love to see a Strontium Dog. That'd be epic. That'd be really, really cool. There's so many. Like it's a wealth of things to mine 2000 AD. And I was saying this to like I watched Dredd with someone, right? And I told her, because she was like, "Oh, it's a comic." I was like, "Yeah, it's a comic book character." I was like, "It's from a British comic." She was like, "What? Really?" I was like, "Yeah, like it's actually one of the old. It's as basically as old as Marvel. You know, like 2000 AD is a really, really old British comic, and it's up there in terms of its sort of comic prowess, I guess. Not in the wider sort of public view nowadays, but it was, and they just need to mine it a bit more. They need to." Actually market it properly and actually get the stuff out there. It used to be so good, but they just sort of fallen to the wayside of obscurity. There's so many characters you could explore. So many. I mean, even Durham Red, great character.
Indeed. Also, in the chat we have John Davis, a new channel member, who fact-checked my claim that the slow-mo music in Dredd was Justin Bieber.
Oh, what did he say?
Yeah, he said it at 10:07 your time, if you can go back to it. And he says, "You were right, Andre. The slow-mo music is Justin Bieber's You Smile, slowed down by 800%.
Jesus. Wow. Okay. Well, I like it. It's good.
Yeah.
That's super odd, but all right. Got one more super chat from Marshmallow. Says, last super, I'm increasingly frustrated at the difference in perspectives regarding the blatant discrimination which some seem to be compliant with. Yeah, well, this is why the term, sleepwalking into a disaster or rules for thee, none for me, come hand in hand. Yeah, there's not much else to say. I mean, try not to let it bother you, to be honest, because unfortunately it's something that we have to put up with, I guess.
It's going to get a heck of a lot worse, and if you are against it, you will be labeled nasty stuff. And I don't know if you're in the US or if you're in the UK and stuff.
No, he's in London.
Okay, good thing. Then you're not going to go to Guantanamo just yet. I'm not joking.
No, you are right. Yeah, because you're like, the thing is, like, if you're I'm gonna release that video tomorrow, and I'll get called a racist for it, for pointing out racist hiring practices. Yeah. So you're right. The amount of sort of vitriol you get for pointing out just the blatant, obvious, definitive terms of things these days is just ridiculous. And it happened with all of the sort of BLM things when people were like, look, it's getting a bit out of hand now. It's all well and good. You're talking about this, and this, but why aren't you supporting, like, especially in the UK, because they were mouthing off about all manner of things, and we're like, guys, like, what about all the kids killing each other? Like, you're not going to do anything about that? No, right? Okay, then no worries. Like, we see where your allegiances actually lie. You're just a mouthpiece. It's just a fuck puppet. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah, pretty much.
So you just try and chin up, I guess. There's not much else you can say really about it. Just find like-minded people, but always keep an open mind to other opinions is the main take home from that.
And stay sane. Stay sane.
Yeah. Love Smite, mid-90s by A24. Great flick. Dope soundtrack too. Watch it, yo. Yes. I don't know. I can't remember if it was you, Love Smite, that said this last time, but yeah, this was recommended. Do need to check it out for sure. I was sent invites to that, but I never got around to watching it. Never got around to doing it. Finbar White, my guilty pleasure was the Ewok movie. Oh my god, was the Ewok movie. One of my favorite films will always be The Lost Boys. Lost Boys is great. Lost Boys is awesome. Thoughts, Andre? Any?
I never saw it, so I don't know.
Oh, all right. You need to watch it.
I have to. All I will say, it's always cool to hear what people's guilty pleasures are, because any movie can be a guilty pleasure. So that's always
Yeah,
cool.
true. I mean, well, one of my guilty pleasures is Hellraiser 3, Hell on Earth. Just because it's just so shit, but not at the same time. Like, I love it, but I know it's so shit. Like, I'm aware it's shit. I did a Mr. Hate reviews on it, and some of the stuff in that film is just terrible. Like, real bad stuff.
At the same time, though, it's entertaining. Like, I remember that when I first discovered it, I saw that movie almost daily for a while there, because I really enjoyed it too. Is it like a guilty pleasure of me now? No, because I never watch it anymore. But I don't mind that movie because it was a guilty pleasure, or I genuinely enjoyed it at one point. I should say it's actually more accurate.
Yeah, absolutely. So people are talking about the Lost Boys, Saxophone Man. Even Finbar White says the music in the Lost Boys was epic. So the Saxophone Man has actually done a song with Gunship, which is retro synthwave, called Dark All Day, and with a chick called Inna the Girl. I think her name's Inna. I can't remember. Indiana the Girl. Go on YouTube and search for Dark All Day Gunship, the music video. And it's this amazing Adi Shankar produced anime, right? And then it cuts to a live action version of the people, the actual people. And Indiana the Girl is fucking smoking hot. Like, I mean, smoking hot. Horrendously. But secondly, the saxophonist from the Lost Boys is on the track, and it is epic. It is awesome music. So go and check it out. There you go. My music recommendation for you all. Roger Haynes, guilty pleasure for me is 1987's Mannequin. Do I remember that? Let me have a look.
Yeah, let me check. I got curious now. Mannequin, 1987. I don't know that I've seen that one.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that either. He finds a beautiful mannequin he previously designed. She springs to life. All right.
Oh, that does sound like...
That sounds like an 80s movie. That's
fresh
sure.
material. Absolutely.
Yeah. Michael Sharp. I have seen all of this. I was genuinely answering other questions. Loving all the content recently. Just wanted to check. Have you stopped the WandaVision reviews? Yes, I have. I have stopped them. I have a lot of other things to review. Even today, like I was supposed to review Batwoman, and I haven't. So I need to do it. You guys need to remember, I'm not a Marvel fan. Like, I'm not a Marvel fan. I'm not a DC fan either. Like, I'm not a fan of these things. And I found the show to be massively laborious. So I tuned out after episode 4. So there you go. I will not be bringing them back. I cannot be bothered. I may binge watch it all in when it's done. And then may do a roundabout review of the whole thing. But I stand by my initial reviews. The first few episodes were garbage. And I think it was made as a TV movie and should have been released as one, or at least released as a bingeable thing. So, yes. Are you still watching it? Do you like it?
Yeah, I like it. I'm watching it and I like it. I think that they completely screwed up in the pacing, because I have since learned that the first 3 episodes, because I think that you found it laborious, because like this whole Jacob's Ladder in the TV world of the 1950s dragged on for 3 episodes. And I think that was too much for you and for many people.
But even episode 4 I didn't like, because there was massive plot holes in that. Huge plot holes. Like, yeah, bunch of plot holes. Like, I don't understand why the FBI agent apparently still didn't know that it was there. Like, you're going to tell me that an FBI agent investigating a missing person didn't walk closer to the town he was supposed to be investigating? Like, really? Like, why? Why wouldn't he?
Yeah, well, fair points, and it has its problems for sure. But overall, I enjoy it. But I think that Marvel, or Disney rather, made a tactical error in demanding that what should have been a 2-hour pilot be split up into 3 episodes of 30 minutes.
Yeah, I'll give you that.
They made it drag for much longer, and I think that they lost people because of it.
Yeah, I'll give you that. Which is interesting because the Harlequin says, not a Marvel fan, but that Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer was good, dumb fun, wasn't it? Yes, it bloody well was. It looks like a fun buddy cop series, and I am all about that. I've released the video on it today. I am all about that. I think that looks very, very good fun. Complete polar opposite to WandaVision. Well, what do you think of Falcon and Winter Soldier?
In a funny reversal, I have the complete opposite reaction to you.
What?
I hope that the series is going to be fine. It's going to be fun. It'll be exciting and all of that. But I saw the trailer and I was like, "Well, this is boring. Is it over soon?" I wasn't.
What was boring about it? Wow,
everything. I wasn't taken by it at all.
So you didn't like the buddy cop element?
Nah, I didn't buy into it.
I'm really surprised. Wow,
I didn't buy into it at all. Not in the slightest. Like, I had zero interest in just the concept. I was hoping that the trailer, or the TV spot rather, would awaken my interest, but nope, not in the slightest.
I'm genuinely surprised.
So I generally like the sort of buddy cop stuff like this, but this I just didn't buy it, not in the slightest. So I really hope to be positively surprised by the series when it airs. But as of this moment in time, I couldn't care less about it.
See, I just like the interaction between the two of them. I think it's fun. But I respect your opinion, dude. Respect your opinion. Disagree, but I respect your opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. Disagree all you want. I know many people will disagree, but I just didn't buy it. Like,
it's all right. More people disagree with me in WandaVision. All right, so you're doing okay. You're doing all right.
No, but WandaVision, I think, is really. I'm really enjoying WandaVision.
Yeah.
But also, it should be said though that I wasn't interested in that to begin with either. Like, not for 1 second did I look forward to or anticipate WandaVision, but it won me over as I started watching it. And I hope that will be the case with Falcon and Winter Soldier too.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, so I had no preconceived notions of WandaVision, and that just sort of bored me, to be honest. I just found it, just not good. I don't have any preconceived notions of Falcon and Winter Soldier. I actually thought it was going to be pretty dumb because I didn't really know what they were going to do with it, really. But I looked at that trailer and I just thought, I'll tell you what, this looks like good fun for me. Like, this is the. But maybe it's just mood wise, maybe I'm bored with the content that that we have out at the moment, and I just wanted something a bit more fun and lighthearted. I'm not oblivious to these sort of hidden subconscious elements to reviewing stuff. But then, I've been watching a whole bunch of independent movies because I get sent movies to review. I've been watching a whole bunch of them recently, and I've loved some of the more deeper, darker slasher flicks that they've been sending me as well. They've been really good. Funny enough, got a review of the new Wrong Turn out tomorrow. So I don't know. Like, maybe I just don't like WandaVision. I don't know. Who cares? But that Wrong Turn was good though. Enjoyed that. So there you go. If anyone wants to watch a movie, Wrong Turn. Head of my review tomorrow. Anyway,
So to see the review, if nothing else.
Yeah, so I really enjoyed it. Like, it's 110 minutes long, which is long for a sort of a slasher horror, because they suffer pace-wise otherwise. But it was decent. Like, I enjoyed it. It was pretty damn good, to be honest. And the interesting selling point is that it's it's a reboot of the entire series, so they're not continuing anything.
Cool.
And it's the original writer, but it's again completely different from the original, really. But in a good way. Like it was good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, I had a good time with it. I think it might offend some Americans because it's set in West Virginia, and they do rip on West Virginia people as being hicks and sort of hillbillies, and being racist and homophobic and stuff. But in saying that, the West Virginian people do get their own back on the people that are ripping on them as well. So it's kind of balanced between the sort of agendas that they're sort of stoking around. It's not as centrist as I would have liked, but I think it's as balanced as you can get in this day and age, to be honest, with the way things are anyway. So I enjoyed it. I think people would really like it. It feels like an older movie, but not in a bad way. And I think you'll have fun with the death scenes. Let's put it that way. I think you'll have fun with that.
Cool.
Yeah. A lot of... I see Jasper on his throne. He is sat there. I'm surprised you guys didn't hear him drinking his water earlier. God damn, he's drinking it so loud. Funny little dog. Well, anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. I think that about kind of wraps it up, really, unless there's any other news that you wanted to talk about. I don't think
there's none that springs to mind. It's been really quiet on the news front this last couple of weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, I was expecting more from the Super Bowl, but that was garbage. I'm aware I dropped on for your live stream briefly for 5 minutes. You were streaming with Andy Signal.
Yeah.
How did that go? How is he? Because he's been wanting to live stream with me sometimes, but I've never got round to him.
No, he was good. He was really good. He has loads of information. He could confirm to us that Keanu Reeves has indeed been offered the role of Kraven in Spider-Man 3.
But that was already confirmed anyway.
No, well, it wasn't confirmed. It was rumored that it would be. But now apparently the offer has gone out, and we got that when it was on air, before it really started making the rounds the last few hours.
Right. Oh, okay.
So yeah, no, Andy, he was a nice guy. He had loads of information. Very good subject to have as a guest in the podcast. And we went through the Super Bowl, which I agree was pretty lackluster. Like, what trailers were there? You had like Fast and the Furious, but who cares?
I didn't even bother watching that. I haven't bothered. I'm not interested. I know that there was a M. Night Shyamalan trailer.
People were blown away by that trailer. Like, many were really excited for it.
Yeah. I haven't seen it properly yet. I haven't seen. Again, I've had so much stuff to do today, content-wise. I still haven't bothered. Still haven't watched it. And it's one of those annoying things that when like with those things, if you're a little bit late on it, it kind of becomes no point in doing it because no one's going to watch it. Like, you're aware of this news, topical subjects. People don't watch them past a certain point. So, yeah. But I've heard good things. I've heard a lot of good things, a lot of buzz, people talking about it. But then that was it, wasn't it? Then there was just the TV series stuff that dropped.
Yeah, there was like a new footage from, not actually, it's not new footage at all, but like a new spot for Clarice, the Hannibal Lecter spin-off series that cannot star Hannibal Lecter. So that's fun.
God damn! I got sent the script for that now. By the way, like after I did my video, I was like, I don't even want to look at it. I can't be bothered.
I read that script a year ago. It's painful.
Yeah, I'm just not interested. It just sounds. It's just garbage. Absolute garbage. I got sent something else as well. Let me have a look because I got sent a few things. Can't remember.
It's a script that's like weirdly like out of time. I don't think it's going to be very popular in Hollywood at all. You want to know what the themes in it are?
I got sent the Equalizer script.
Oh, okay.
With Queen Latifah. Oof. That is bad. Yeah, I'm getting... There's some things that I'm happy to look at because I think like some of it could be good and I'm intrigued. But those are two things that I'm not... You know, they could be the best things ever, but I'm not interested in them. Ever. Literally ever. Not interested. Cannot be bothered. Do you think, I'll tell you an interesting question. Do you think we're seeing the end of sort of comic book movies as a mainstay? Because I don't feel like we are. I thought we were, but I feel like it's still chugging along quite nicely now.
Yeah, absolutely. The only thing that happened was that, yeah, we had a longer break than usual, but seeing the end, oh, way. These things are way too profitable. And you even see that right now with the shift to streaming, the comic book properties are the big sellers that drive the audiences. Is that and Star Wars. So the brand content is here to stay. Comic book movies ain't going anywhere. They may slow down a little bit. I think we already saw the peak with Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. But it's a long way between the peak is behind us to this is going away. This ain't going away anytime soon. Because really, they're trying to replace it. I mean, what else could capture the imagination of the common folk, or like you and I, than comic book movies? What else could do that trick? What else could provide such a level of escape, especially now with everyone being locked up inside and everything like that? What else can create such stories, such worlds as comic book movies?
Well, true. Yeah. Well, I mean, Sword and Sorcery for me, but for many other people.
For me as well. Obviously, you have like that, but Sword and Sorcery, that's like one thing. That's a whole genre in and of its own. And you have like some properties in it. Like for instance, I could take a good Conan franchise and sacrifice pretty much everything else for it. But that's me. With comic book movies, you have something for everyone. I mean, just look at our polar opposite reactions to WandaVision and to Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I mean, what else can do that in comic book movies? Yeah, you can like say Sword and Sorcery, but here's like the thing: either you like it or you don't. Whereas everyone can find a comic book movie they like, because that's a genre within genres.
True. I'll tell you what I've really been enjoying recently, because of, you know, I basically get sent films by a UK distributor of independent films. And I've watched some absolutely brilliant ones recently. I've really, really enjoyed them. There's been some fucking stellar indie films. Really, really good. More so than usual. Or maybe just because I overlooked them a little bit more. I've always enjoyed some bloody good indie films. But I'm more inclined to look at them now than I am all this kind of Marvel bollocks and the DC bollocks as well.
Yeah, there's some really cool indie films out there, and there are so many, not just right now, but also like in the past few years, even past 10, 15, 20 years, so even before that, actually, it was like less than, where you have like some really cool movies that just went under the radar.
Yeah.
Like there are movies like Batman out there that just aren't discovered yet. One of my favorites is what was it called? I forgot the title. Unbelievable. I was about to say it and I forgot the title. Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
Yeah.
That's a really I like that one. Speaking and on that note, Slipknot fan, he checked out the Jerry Goldsmith Judge Dredd music. He says in the comments, Andre, I just listened to the Jerry Goldsmith Judge Dredd music. It's a phenomenal piece. Yes, indeed. I realized I've heard it in the Lost in Space trailer too. Yeah, that made its round in multiple trailers around that time. Phantom is the one I remember because it was so ill-fitting there. But yeah, it was Lost in Space too, come to think of it. But it should have been in the movie, because that movie, it would have made the movie better. But again, it was deemed to be too dark for the movie. That's why it wasn't there.
Marty D says Army Hammer as Hannibal Lecter. Needs to do a live stream to discuss all of that, because I was going to make a video, but it would just get demonetized.
Yeah.
and blocked. Like that's the problem with demonetization, is that like it sandboxes a video. Yeah. God damn, that's
a pretty cool choice, though.
Yeah. Well, he's been dropped by all of his. You do know what's happened to him now, don't you?
Of course I do. Of course I do. That he wasn't dropped a moment too soon, because like he was someone that never should have had that career to begin with. It was brought
he
for
wasn't
him.
Good, was he wasn't very good. God damn. Dear, oh dear. I'm just having a look now, see if there's any other news real quick.
Well, there was the She-Hulk art we were asked to react to. I've seen it already. Have you seen it?
I have. Let me. Where is it? Where is it circulating?
I don't know. I've seen it like on Twitter and stuff like that. If you look for like the She-Hulk images from like last week, then it shouldn't be a problem to find that all. I'm sure it's bounding into comics and stuff. I'll send a picture.
Got it. I've got it now.
Yeah, it basically looks like a slightly more femi version of the Hulk.
What is this? It's not actually She-Hulk, is it?
Yeah, that's actually She-Hulk.
That's not the character. That's not the. No, it's not. What?
Yeah, this it's Marvel Comics of today. It's like a nice, general, neutral, avoid the male gaze, and yeah.
So really?
Yeah, I think so.
What? What the fuck is this? What? So someone, I'm looking at it now. This is Jennifer's Phoenix Force design. The reason her physique is more like Bruce's Hulk is because of the regression in her powers after being put in a coma by Thanos. Her change in appearance is meant to illustrate her current state of mind power level. This has been since 2016. So that is Jennifer. That is actually Jennifer, but she's got the Phoenix Force and has become a man, basically.
Yeah. Stunning and brave.
Fantastic.
Yeah. She's become someone Anna, of course, did a paint over.
Yeah, but it's interesting. So I'm looking at these other images. I'll put them. I'll grab them now as well. So, it's interesting. So they've slowly manned her up, basically.
They've feminized their male heroes and manned up their female heroes.
But it's just so bad as well. Like, you've literally just put a ponytail on Bruce Banner. Like, that's lazy. That's just lazy as shit. So apparently this is one iteration of her, right? Same one. You can see it still looks like, just a masculine woman. Again, that looks, just a more muscly version of She-Hulk there. Not a bad one either, to be fair. It looks fine. Like, I would say that's She-Hulk still. And then we start going like, what's this? What's this? Bit much, bit weird. And then we go to this.
All bets are off by that point.
And then we go to this.
Nice.
What is that? Seriously. That is terrible.
Pretty much.
It's just lazy, isn't it? Like, are they getting Greg Land to do their fucking artwork again? Is he just sketching over old copies of Hulk? Is that what he's doing? I bet that's what it is, ladies and gents. We've got it. Greg Land.
The first time. In that case, it wouldn't be the first time at all.
Well, you know what I'm talking about, Greg Land, don't you?
And vaguely.
Greg Land is a notorious artist for Marvel, Lucasfilm, and he literally just traces over other people's artwork. He's fucking terrible. He just steals other people's artwork, and he's paid to do it.
Oh, that's Nice
seriously,
him, I
like,
guess.
yeah, that is genuinely what he does. Atrocious. That is garbage, ladies and gents. How on earth is the She-Hulk series going to mirror something like this? It's not, is it? Like, that's going to be. Yeah, that's real bad. It's just so lazy. It's just so lazy.
Well,
Awful.
Great.
Silvercat says, to be fair, as a long-term Marvel comic book reader, the Hulk forms have always reflected the inner psyche of the individual. Yeah. I mean, yeah. You got Mr. Fix-It and stuff like that. But I don't understand what is this reflecting on Jennifer?
That she's stunning and brave now, I guess.
But you know what I mean? Like, I don't like I get that, and I like that as an element to Hulk. But I'm confused. Mucho confused, though. Not good. That's real bad. What, like, any other further thoughts?
I've seen so much worse from comics today that I'm like, fine, whatever. Like that's the beauty with being dead inside. You don't shock so easily.
True.
Of course, I could never do like a reaction channel because I was like, okay, whatever.
Would be very unenthused, would you? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, pretty much. I you see like the image right here, and that's how I would look anyway. Pretty much regardless of what's put in front of me. But
when are you
especially
going to do your face reveal, by the way?
When I get the webcam, which I just have to make a priority. I haven't made one. I haven't made it one.
I'll tell you what, mate, I'll buy one for you. I'll go on Amazon right now. I'll buy one for you. How about that? Won't just be me sat here on bloody camera then, will it?
Maybe we'll make an event of it. Like, say, it's 300,000 subscribers or something. We call it 250 or something like that.
Yeah, that could be good.
Yeah. That would be cool.
Well, anyway, Andre, where can people find you? Midnight's Edge, and
people can find me on the non-reaction channel, as was pointed out in the channel in the chat here at Midnight's Edge, where we do very complimentary content to yours. We have live shows also 3 days a week, plus the occasional other live review. We have editorial contents. We do the odd review. And also like some pretty decent industry analysis, I dare say myself. So yeah, absolutely go and check out Midnight's Edge. You can follow me on Twitter. You see my handle right there in the description. And with that, thanks for having me.
All right, you're very welcome. Thank you for joining me. You can find me over on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. H Reviews. I've just chucked them down in the chat right there. We just had one final super chat from just J Dog Man. That's just lazy designing, and she looks like Fiona from Shrek. Yeah, she does look like Fiona from Shrek. You're right, actually. Yeah, she does. She actually does. Yeah, you're completely right. It is super lazy, massively lazy. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining me, ladies and gents. If you're watching this back, then you've stayed this long, please do subscribe. But I doubt you've stayed this long because I'm going to leave this one up on the channel. Like I said, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. H Reviews. And these live shows are every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Join the fun. They do get quite interesting. We have varying guests, varying topics. Please do set a reminder, 9 p.m. GMT, and that's 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can assess from that where it is in your part of the world. But please do set a reminder because YouTube just won't tell you. And I don't always schedule them. Sometimes I wait until I have like a topic comes up. Like today, a topic came up about 2 hours out from the live show time, and then that's when I planned to do this as the topic. So please do set a reminder and join the fun. But thank you so much for joining, guys.